Good morning, I'm Demi Moore. Nikki Stanzione, for real.
Yeah. I am Kristen Van Dyke, and you were hoarse this morning.
I know, I always wanted to sound like one of those raspy people, but you know, now that I have to sound like this, I don't like it very much. It's very frustrating. I can't sing, I can't do anything normal. It sounds terrible.
Oh, that's no fun. But you know what? You know what I love about like illnesses like this? Because everybody hears you and they think, oh, you poor thing, you must just feel awful. Yeah. But otherwise, like, you don't feel bad. Okay. It's just the voice.
I'm okay.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, like people in radio and TV, this is like the dream illness.
Yeah.
Because whenever you can't talk, except it gets to a certain point.
We really have to actually do the show. Yeah, we couldn't really call and sing. But the thing that was so hard for me, and obviously you and every viewer that watches the show knows, not talking was horrible yesterday. I couldn't talk to anybody. I texted, I watched TV, I was on the computer. I was like helpless and hopeless. So speaking of helpless and hopeless, I was like, I can't talk. I can't talk. Well, I knew I'd get punished one day for all the talking I do. Here it is.
It's rough, yeah.
But you had a great day yesterday.
I did. I'm kind of tired, but yeah, no, the Big Duke City Marathon, of course, was a Sunday, and we had a team from KRQE. We actually had Jessica Garate and myself and Lawrence Gilligan, our weekend sports anchor, and we all did the relay, and we dressed up. And we were like the only, there was one other person that was dressed up. There was a guy running in the marathon dressed up as Spock. But we dressed up as superheroes, like trying to help us make it through. So I was Batman, and then one of our producers, Rebecca, she was Super Grover, and then there's Lawrence, Superman, and then Jessica, Superwoman.
Oh my gosh.
And then we had Kat, one of our Botox there, she was Wonder Woman. And so we passed on the baton, which was a scrunchie, actually.
So
doing our hardest to run as fast as we could, and then that was Lawrence and me, and then you kind of see the Batman thing. So we each ran a leg to complete a whole marathon. So Kat and Jess did 6.2 miles. I did 4.8 miles, which for me, I'm not a runner. I hate running. I really do. I make myself run.
Yeah, I know.
So that was good. And then that last picture, Tony Lynn, which he ran the full marathon. He didn't train for.
Really?
And he's never done it before. He did it in under 8 hours.
Seriously, under 8.
Yeah,
that's not bad though.
There was all kinds of people there. There was people running barefoot, doing the marathon barefoot.
The weather was perfect.
The weather was absolutely perfect.
Well, good for you.
Yeah,
so what was your final?
I did my little leg. I don't know what our final score was. There were some kind of issues with the computer on like how our team did. I'm sure we did great. We were in our superhero costumes.
You were superheroes, for goodness sake.
I think I did 4.8 in 42 minutes, which was better than what you get that adrenaline and you can kind of get going. But it's a really cool event. I mean, and it's so pretty. We ran down by the Bosque, and the leaves right now still gorgeous. Beautiful. Get out today and tomorrow while you can, because the winds are picking up and a lot of those leaves are going to get blown out.
Well, even just driving down by Coors Bypass by the mall, Cottonwood yesterday, I drove into that area, and it was just breathtaking. It was the colors were so vibrant and orange and just beautiful. So yeah. So is it going to continue on like this?
No, we've been so blessed. It's nice weather for the last week and a half, and it's all changing this week. By the middle part of the week, we're going to be looking at wind, getting strong winds, perhaps some showers. We need the rain. We need the rain.
But I don't like the wind.
Snow in the mountains, and then we're talking about temperatures getting close to the freezing mark. We haven't had that freeze yet here in Albuquerque. We're going to be getting very close to it by the end of this week. So it's time to start thinking about the pets, the pipes, the heating plants, the heating bill, getting everything ready for heat. I mean, it's that time to get ready for it. If you haven't done it yet, I know in the mornings it's been chilly, but you're going to need to get the sweaters out. We're going to be talking highs only in the low 50s.
During the day?
So during the day, the coolest air so far this season, perhaps, this week. So let's go ahead and take a look at the weather forecast here. And today, again, just beautiful out. And there's Tony. It's beautiful out. 48 degrees right now. Winds are out of the north at 3 miles per hour. So the wind's light for now. You can see a lot of sunshine out there. You know, no cloud cover showing up on our satellite, really. But highs today, mid-70s, so still feeling summer-like down the southeast, mid to upper 80s there, upper 60s in the northern mountains. The wind's picking up in the northeast because it's so warm and so dry. Red flag warning, so we have to worry about fire weather danger there.
Wow.
So those issues there this afternoon. The next storm system approaches. Starting tomorrow, even tonight across the western high terrain, we could see a few showers, but tomorrow, Four Corners starting to get the rain, and then by Wednesday, Thursday, the system heads our way. We'll be watching for mountain snow, perhaps some rain showers here, and then this is a look at the 7-day, and you can see the big turnaround with the temperatures. Thursday, rainy, 51, down into the mid-30s Thursday night, getting close to the freezing mark, and you can bet down in the valley they'll get close to it, especially if those skies clear out really quick, and that could be trouble for the Northeast Heights too, and then we're back into the 60s and more sunshine this weekend. So I can guarantee you are going to need a jacket for the trick-or-treating for the kids, because it's going to get pretty chilly at night here.
A lot of Halloween parties that week too.
Yeah.
In the meantime, let's check in with KRQE News 13 anchor Matt Morrow for today's headlines. Hi, Matt.
Good morning, Nikki, and good morning, Kristen, and good morning to you. At 8:05, Albuquerque Public Schools wants to make its police independent of other law enforcement agencies. Board members officially decided they wanted to do this during a meeting last week. Bernalillo County Sheriff Dan Houston has threatened to decommission the district's officers if they don't sign a written agreement by the end of this month. A big decision is set to be made this week about a development project planned for Albuquerque's South Valley. The construction would be near Coors and Rio Bravo here, and it would include a number of department stores, restaurants, even a 14-screen movie theater complex. It'll cost about $55 million to build everything, and the developers want the county to pitch in $1.5 million to get that project off the ground. The developer, Steve Maestas, says the South Valley has been neglected for far too long now, and he wants to change that.
You have to drive 15 minutes one way to go to a sit-down restaurant, or to buy a cup of coffee, or to go to a department store, and that's a tough thing to do in this economy.
The money from Bernalillo County would help to pay to improve the infrastructure there. Developers are promising another $2.5 million to go on top of that. The request for money is on the agenda for tomorrow night's County Commission meeting. If you work at Walmart, heads up, you may know this already, but it's making some big changes to its health care coverage, which will cost you more, and in fact, it's just going to eliminate it for a lot of workers. Many workers will soon see their premiums rise, and smokers, you'll be especially hard hit. Their premiums are expected to jump about 40%. Walmart says rising health care costs are also forcing it to eliminate health coverage for new employees who work fewer than 24 hours a week. Are you looking for a job for the holiday? Well, Santa may have just the right gift for you. Stores are expecting a big boost in sales this holiday season, and that means they need some extra workers. Casey Stiegel has more.
Well, retailers are expected to rake in some big bucks this holiday season. Holiday sales projected to grow by nearly 3% this year compared to last. And if that rings true, it means that consumers will be shelling out about $466 billion over the next couple of months. So many of the biggest retailers bulking up its staff to handle that rush. Macy's department store, for example, will hire the most, looking to add about 78,000 temporary workers to the payroll, which is 4% more than last year. Toys R Us, the world's largest toy company, will hire roughly 40,000, as will Kohl's department store, a nearly 5% increase.
The amount of hours a seasonal associate can expect to work is anywhere between a few hours a week up to about 20 hours a week. And then the typical job is really around probably unloading of a truck, processing of freight, stocking on the sales floor, and then cash register duties.
While the world of retail isn't growing as fast as some sectors of the struggling economy, it is a slow but sure process. Sales have been on the rise for 15 months in a row, according to the National Retail Federation, and the industry has added about 100,000 permanent jobs just in the last year.
It's also important to keep in mind that just because you start off as a seasonal employee in retail doesn't necessarily mean that your job will end in January. If you do a great job, retailers who are continuing to add permanent jobs in our industry might look at you as a candidate for something long-term going forward.
Overall, it is estimated nearly 500,000 temporary workers will be added all around the country in the coming months, which could hopefully put a dent in the national unemployment rate of 9.1%. In Los Angeles, Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
And more good news about that. All the stores that were mentioned in that story, Macy's, Kohl's, and Toys R Us, all right here in Albuquerque. Well, free legal advice is headed your way in Albuquerque this week. In fact, more than 100 attorneys will all be in one place tomorrow. And if you need any legal advice, they'll be there ready to answer your questions, all for free. It's called Lollapalooza, set for tomorrow at the Albuquerque Convention Center. It was a big event last year. 800 people went to it. Anyone can go, and this is really helpful to folks who are low income.
We're in really tough economic times now. People are suffering from foreclosure. They're falling further and further into debt, and paying for a lawyer is really difficult to do.
Lollapalooza is set for tomorrow once again at the Albuquerque Convention Center. It's in ballrooms B and C from noon to 6. Lawyers are there to give each person who shows up 30 minutes of free legal help, and they say they're not going to turn anyone away. Well, that just about does it for your headlines for this morning. And for more news and weather every morning, watch Kristen and me on KRQE News 13 from 5 to 7. We'll get you up to speed and get your morning off to a great start. And all this week, Kristen, you know, we'll be having coverage of that winter weather blast that's supposed to be headed our way. And as you talked about earlier, temperatures may be down near freezing on Thursday, Friday morning.
Could be close. It's going to be really close for us. First freeze of the season is looking more and more likely.
Not ready for it. Not ready for it at all. And that's not going to help my voice.
No, but hey.
Probably not.
Maybe the freeze can kill off some of the plants and the pollen that's irritating allergies.
I think it's allergies. Right? That's what I think. Well, thank you, Matt. I sound like Peter Brady on the episode when he lost his voice and he's saying, when it's time to change, you got to read. Oh, I'm dating myself. Okay, so listen to this. This is really cool. Albuquerque took center stage in Sunday's New York Times travel section. Now, no matter where you're from in the country, you know the New York Times is a big deal. And the travel feature series is titled 36 Hours in Albuquerque, and it always covers different destinations, but this one is about Albuquerque. So look at how cool this is. Basically, it covers, I don't know if you can see this, but it basically covers like all the different things that you can do in Albuquerque. And so obviously we are a featured city that the whole country is talking about now. And it talks about everything from our film industry with like Breaking Bad and how big a deal that is, all the way to things like the Marble Brewery, if you want to do some beer tasting. It talks about Stevie's Happy Bikes, if you want to go rolling on the river like Tina Turner and Ike. And it also does a lot about the chemo theater, which is really interesting because there's always so many things. And also the Albuquerque Trolley, which is such a cool thing that we feature. So that's just one of the many things, but I'm sure the article is also online. I just think it's really cool that we're featured.
It's good to see that. And we should be. I mean, I was just thinking this weekend, I mean, with the leaves changing, it is just so gorgeous here. The sunsets and the sunrises, I say that all the time. And I tell my family back home, you know, and they get to see the sunrises over the ocean. And it still has nothing.
It has nothing on New Mexico.
It
also actually talks about Balloon Fiesta, by the way, of course. And you know, I had friends in from New York and New Jersey this week, and they stayed in Santa Fe, and they went all across the state, and they just were mesmerized. And you know, and sometimes, you know, I'll be honest, Jersey and New Yorkers kind of snobby sometimes. We kind of have like a little attitude problem sometimes about other places. But they were like, I would live here any day. This place is amazing. So they loved every minute, and why not?
Really cool to see.